And your running mate there, Swagoo, Dan Orlovsky, tweeting over the weekend, said it 2 years ago, said it last year, I'll say it again. Clemson's offensive scheme stinks. That's from Orlovsky. And so let me bring Paul and Heather back into the conversation here, because the Clemson of it all is so incredibly important, and we'll directly address what Orlovsky said a moment ago. But Heather, if someone were to say to you, Clemson's path to getting back to the college football playoff this year, as of this weekend, looks next to impossible, what would you say to them?
Well, I'd say, hold on a minute, it's still week 1. But yes, they've got an uphill battle. A one-loss Clemson that wins the ACC this year is not a guarantee. Clemson was hurt not only by itself, that performance and the loss, but they were hurt by the fact that Miami got trounced by Alabama. North Carolina lost on the road in Blacksburg. Those are 2 teams that should have been facing high expectations in the Coastal Division, and Clemson needs a ranked opponent in that ACC championship game to impress the selection committee. And right now, they don't have one ranked opponent left on their schedule. Look, Greeny, no team has lost their season opener and gone on to get into the college football playoff since this thing started in 2014.
So, Paul, I will come to you because you are never shy with an opinion, which is what do we call him again? What is his?
P-Town.
P-Town.
Yeah.
So, P-Town, let me ask it to you this way. Clemson, and all the credit in the world to Dabo Swinney and that program, they have been sort of neck and neck, or at least it felt like they were for a while there, with Alabama to be the preeminent program in college football. Does it feel like it's slipping away suddenly for Clemson and that super high elite level?
It does, Greedy, and on Erev Rosh Hashanah, I'm not sure about you saying P-Town to me, but enough of that for now. The point being that their path is so narrow. I cannot in good conscience say they're done for the year because so many other things can happen. I'll wait a week or two. But their problem is the league. It's not Clemson. Clemson did not play a masterful game. Their offense was terrible. Their offensive line was putrid. DJU did not make very many good decisions, and the one bad one cost him the game. But they were still within striking distance of what I think is the second best team in the country. But yeah, it's not only the schools that Heather mentioned, it's the other schools in the ACC. Duke lost to Charlotte. Georgia Tech lost to Northern Illinois. I mean, that's a bad league right now, and Dabo can say whatever he wants. He can't talk his way out of that.
And so, Marcus, I want to then take it back to what Orlovsky tweeted about that offense. And you were making the point earlier that what turned everything for Alabama, when it looked like maybe the world was catching up to them a little bit, was a willingness on the part of Saban to adapt a little bit. Pick up that thought in light of Orlovsky saying the offensive scheme stinks.
Gee, Nick understood he had to evolve, right? And Nick was built a lot in the same vein of Bill Belichick, where they want to run the football, they want to play a physical style, use play action. And Saban saw the trend of college. He saw it changing. He saw some of the schools that were airing the ball out, and he decided to go hire Lane Kiffin. He decided to run an offense that was totally against his philosophy as far as being a football coach. And when you think about how he got ahead of that and figured out that some games I'm going to need to put up 45, 48 points in order to win it, because defense was slowly becoming something of the past, right? Like, it was one of the situations where offensively teams were spreading you out. It was no longer recruiting the big Mount Cody's and all of those type of guys. You needed fast, agile defensive linemen. You needed linebackers that could run at a high level. You needed a secondary that was not only guys that could come up and pick the football off, they had to tackle in space. So he figured out all of that to put himself in a window where he knew college football was trending. I think Clemson has missed that offensively, and they relying too much on talent as opposed to trying to put a scheme together to put people off skates.
Well, maybe that's the direction that they go again, because, I mean, they've got 3 guys. Jalen Hurts and Tua and Mac Jones all going to be starting in week 1 in the NFL. And we had between Nick Saban, with Lane Kiffin, and then it goes to Sarkisian and now to Bill O'Brien.
This is not a moot point. Like, Paul and I and Heather, we saw Clemson in New Orleans against LSU in the national championship struggle offensively.
Right.
We saw them struggle offensively in the college football playoff against Alabama in the semifinal game. So it's not like this is just recent that we've seen this offensive scheme not do well.
And then speaking of Alabama, Heather, let me come back to you again. And at the risk of overreacting, but acknowledging I am a professional overreactor, If I were to say just send 2 trophies to Tuscaloosa right now, the Heisman for the quarterback and the national championship for the Alabama Crimson Tide, what would you say to me?
Put a stamp on it, mail it yesterday. I mean, look, it's not fair. Alabama is so good, it's not fair. What we saw from Bryce Young was just remarkable because you knew going into it he was special. He's done all the little things right this summer to be a good quarterback, but how does he look in a game situation? That was a question for everyone, and he answered it 1,000 times yes. I mean, he's that good. Now, their schedule is going to get a lot more difficult. Everybody knows that. How's he going to look against Georgia's defense if those two match up in the SEC championship? But, man, they were head and shoulders above the rest. Picked up right where they left off.
Paul, you've seen every snap that all these guys took. Is this kid about to be the best of the recent group of quarterbacks at Alabama?
Well, we look like $1 million, that's for sure, Greeny. And you know, the point being, I mean, it's possible. But I mean, we're talking about some unbelievable players, Mac Jones, Tua. But I mean, he had a better beginning than any of them, and that's saying a great deal. He's just so poised. For those people around the country that don't swim in Alabama waters like some of us, that was his first start. I mean, that's just the hardest thing for me to wrap my arms around.
He couldn't have looked better. So, Paul, give us your 4. Again, Heather Dinich earlier this morning gave us her top 4 teams in the country after 1 week of the season. Paul, what are your first 4?
I think the first 2, with all due respect to Heather, are Alabama and Georgia. Now, you can quibble about Georgia, but I think they separated themselves. And after that, forgetting a bad performance, I still like Ohio State. And Heather, I'm going with Oklahoma. They struggled. They always struggle in early games, but I think they're one of the 4 best teams in the country.